This is a short clip about two aspects of the human brain which we all are capable of accessing to radically increase our mental capabilities, and which are easily integrated into work if we go about it in the right way. Now, if we look at the history of the way information has been structured for the workplace, it evolved in the Industrial Revolution, where the factory system was just coming in, and lists and rows, and think of a fabric warp and weft. The Jacquard machine developed, was the beginnings of the modern computer. And information needed, quite rightly at that time, to be heavily structured. But we've moved on from that point now, and we're moving into the age where we're now having to really come to terms with unstructured information. In fact, we've now got so much information, whether it be images, television, sound, spreadsheets, Word documents, websites, whatever it might be. Our evolutionary process needs to prepare us for the management of that information. Now, as it happens, and to give you the overview of this argument, our brains happen to have an infinite capacity for remembering pictures and a pretty much infinite capacity for making associations. And these two elements of our neural wiring can be brought to use in the workplace and in personal development as well. And I just want to go into more detail about these two amazing facts, and then come to a conclusion regarding the use of MindJet Mind Manager in your business and personal information management processes. So this slide gives us a little bit of background. It's an amazing fact for quiz nights, is that we have a nearly infinite memory for pictures. If you think about looking at faces, I mean, you could scan the busy platform at Waterloo Station and spot an individual face out of many thousands that are there. So we're pretty well wired up for being able to recall images. In a test done during the 1970s, and you can read more about the background to this in Tony and Barry Buzan's book, the Mind Map book, 2,560 slides were shown to a cohort of volunteers over 7 hours. That represents one image every 10 seconds. And the people in the test were, in the experiment, were tested 1 hour later, and they were shown pairs of images. One of the images would have been from the original 2,560, and another one would not. And within an hour, there was an 85+% accuracy in spotting the original images versus the falsely inserted images. Now, it just strikes me that if the human brain is this good at recalling pictures, then doesn't it make some sort of sense to try and bring pictures and maps and graphics and accessing this limitless potential of the brain into the workplace? And I think you'd be hard pressed to argue that in current economic circumstances there's not at least a case for looking at how we would enhance productivity by the introduction of colour, pictures and improved memory. Another piece of amazing trivia for your quiz night is the observation. This was work done in the 60s and 70s in Russia on the human brain and the connection between neurons, brain cells, and it was discovered that, again, there is a near infinite number of associations that brain cells can make between one another. Now, to give you an idea of how big this number is, if each brain, the total number of combinations of possible neural connections, if you were to write down the number, it would be a 1 followed by 10.5 kilometers of zeros. Now, you might argue how big's the font for the zero. I mean, the point is, it's a very, very large number. And again, we're hardwired to make patterns, to look for patterns, to seek meaning. And our brains are at their most comfortable when they're asked to see the overview, the connection between the job that I am doing and where that fits into the overall scheme of things. That's what we're designed to do. The notion of breaking a task down, giving it to an individual and saying, right, all you've got to do all day long is scan this spreadsheet or hammer in these pop rivets. It's not what the brain's designed for. It very rapidly moves to low levels of function. The brain is actively looking to be kept engaged and to be creative. Again, another amazing capacity of the brain which can be brought into the workplace. The beauty of Mindjet's Mind Manager products is the software has the capacity to weave together the value of the visual, the creative, what you might call left and right brain. I mean, I don't really know what that means, but there are certain elements of our mental function that we've just described which are left virtually untapped. That doesn't mean to say that logic, list, sequence does not still have value. Of course it does. But this piece of software provides us with a Gestalt overview, as we saw at the beginning of the this little video clip. It brings in the benefits of colour and visual recognition, and it allows us to make associations with the different elements of an argument. And I'm a big believer in getting full return from any investment made in corporate brain power, and in getting the best out of my own mind as well. So if you'd like to know more about how you can get a superb return on the investment in your human brain, then please hit comments at the end of this blog post, or get in touch with us via email or the telephone, and we will get back to you and see what ways in which we can help, if there are any ways in which we can help. So thanks for listening. Bye bye.